Hello, Mr. Minnick here, helping my students in Intro to Computer Science learn how to create a truth table. A truth table is often used in many different fields of study, especially computer science. Sometimes it's called a truth chart. For me, I'm very fussy in how I'd like my students to write it out, even though other teachers and professors sometimes allow variations. For my classes, I prefer that they think of the truth table rather, as being consists of two variables, A and B, always capitalized, and the word and. For Python, that has to be lowercase, spelled out A-N-D. For the Python computer language, we also make use of the logical operator OR, lowercase. Those are column headings, so you might do something like that. And there are four possible situations where you have two variables and they're either equal to true or false. I want you to keep track of these four possible situations in the same order in which you would count binary numbers. The number 0 comes first in binary, next the number 1, and then in binary, instead of a 2 and a 3, in the binary number system, which is used by a computer, in the binary number system, what you think of as a 2 in normal decimal math, the computer thinks of as the number 10. And don't pronounce it 10, it's considered 10. The number 3 to you and me in decimal is considered 11 in binary. So on this chart, as long as you put the leading zeros in, which just kind of fill up these spaces here, just like you can do 1, 2, 3, up to 9, and then you go to 10, 11. You can always think of 9 as really 0, 9. You can think of the number 3 as like 0, 3, 0, 2, 0, 1. So that's why we filled in the 0 here and the 0 here. The binary number 0, 1, 2, what we think of as 2 and what we think of as 3. Okay, the next step in the truth table, and filling it in completely here, is to fill in the column AND. Now the AND I like to teach is kind of like the strict parent. The strict parent, when looking at a situation where, say, the A is the expression whether a child eats their asparagus or not, and the B represents a possible situation of whether you eat broccoli or not. Now, in a game or something, A might be the player has more than 0 health, and B might mean the player is currently on the game board or not. So if the player has health greater than 0 and the player is on the board, the two of those together with the word AND might mean that play continues in the game, true or false. And throughout this whole chart, 0 represents false and a 1 represents true. Do not use T's and F's on truth tables in my class. I like 0s and 1s. And by the way, A and B are often used by other teachers. Actually, other teachers and professors use P and Q lowercase. I prefer uppercase A and uppercase B. Some teachers might capitalize the word AND. Some write it in all uppercase. I prefer, just like in Python, it's required to use lowercase and lowercase OR. So let's say we have a strict parent that says you only get dessert if you eat asparagus and you eat broccoli. Well, this child right here that does eat both does get dessert. This person that does eat asparagus, because the 1, which means true, is under the A asparagus column, but he or she does not eat broccoli, that person does not get dessert. This person, even though they did eat broccoli, because they did not eat asparagus, they do not get dessert. And this child doesn't eat anything. So according to the strict parent and, since both sides are not true, that person does not get the overall reward of having dessert. Now, sometimes there's a situation where, say in a game, play continues if you're on the game board or you have more than 0 health points. Maybe you're like off the screen, but you can come back on the screen. So in that case, maybe the play still continues. So if the word or is used, I think of it as the easy parent, where the easy parent says, oh, you can have dessert if you eat asparagus or broccoli. Now, of course, you could eat both. So the person who eats both does get dessert. But the person who only eats broccoli, sure, he or she gets dessert. And sure, the person that only eats asparagus gets dessert. This person does not get any dessert because they didn't eat anything. So there is your complete truth table.